When you do something that you love, remember this, it's not work. So you'll work 24/7, you're going to work all the time, and at the end of a year, you're not really working. You don't think of it as work. You also learn to believe in yourself, so important, to have confidence in your ability, and to take responsibility for your own life. When you face down new challenges, and you will have plenty of them, develop talents you never thought possible. You learn the rewards of hard work and perseverance. Never, ever give up, never quit. Persevere, never, ever quit. You discover that you can handle anything. And I've seen so many instances where people with great talent went into things that they didn't love, and they failed. I was no different when I was 20 years old, believe me. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to get out of Brooklyn. I said, Pop, I love you, but I want to get out of Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn, but I want to get out. I love taking things and fixing, taking things and building. Buildings, which I love and what I do best. Look, we've had tremendous success with The Apprentice. It became the #1 show on television. And I'd see those big buildings, those big skyscrapers in Manhattan. I said, Pop, that's what I want to do. That's what I wanted to do. I had a brother, Fred, who was sadly an alcoholic, a serious alcoholic. I think it started in college, frankly, but it got progressively worse. And he was really unable to stop. And he'd always tell me, don't you ever drink. He was much older. He was 10 years older than me, 11 years older than me. And he was as good looking a guy as you've ever seen. He had everything going. The best personality. I have like a bad personality compared to Fred. But he started drinking. And he also smoked a lot. And don't you ever smoke. He'd add the smoke in it because he smoked and he drank. And it hugely affected his health and hugely affected even his look. And I didn't like seeing that. So I never drank. I mean, I really, when you talk about my father, I learned a lot from my father, but I learned a lot from my brother Fred. And he set an example. It wasn't maybe the example that people would think, but it really was in its own way an example. You know, I was blessed to have smart children. They did well in school, they got good marks, they didn't have problems. I've gone to school. I went to the Wharton School of Finance, which I consider the best school, best business school. And in the class, I had lots of people. And it's sort of interesting because I've been able to watch a whole career now answer with something else. You have a lot of people that don't tell the truth. I've seen so many brilliant people. They gave up in life. They were totally brilliant. They were top of their class. They were the best students. That's a tremendously powerful weapon if they knew how to use it. I think right now what people want is they want competence. They're tired of other things. Being an outsider is fine. Embrace the label, because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. What imprint will you leave in the sands of history? Did we take risks? Did we dare to defy expectations? Did we challenge accepted wisdom and take on established systems? We need toughness. We need this, we need the brain power, and we need toughness. That's very important to people now. They really do have a tremendously powerful weapon, but they don't use it, and they don't use it properly. They are terrible negotiators. The value of patience and perseverance, hard work and determination. They really have to be learned and lived on the field of practice with lots of sweat, lots of hard work, and lots of determination. Many of life's most valuable lessons are learned on the field of competition. And the ability to overcome adversity, making lifelong friends all along the way. Builds character, forges friendships, tears down barriers, and brings people from all walks of life closer together. Work hard, get in the game, play to win, and most of all, have a good time, have fun. Go out, have a great time in life, compete, remember your duty, honor your history, take care of the people God put into your life. And if you refuse to give in to doubt or to fear, and you will win, 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 and help people in doing so. You will be proud of yourself. There's no better feeling than an achievement that you've earned with your own sweat, tears, resolve, hard work. There's nothing like it. Do you agree with that?
You have to have an ability to handle pressure, because no matter how successful you are, I have many, many friends and enemies, a lot of enemies too, I don't care. And if you can't handle pressure, you have to know that about yourself. You have to know that about yourself. So, handle pressure. If you can't, that's okay. You have to remember, it doesn't matter. God matters, your family matters. Some people, they say, I've got to be successful, I've got to be. They'll never be successful. It's too crazy. They can't think straight. You've got to be able to sort of say to yourself, nothing matters that much other than the real big deals. And people that can handle pressure can be entrepreneurs, can be successful. Now, I have some friends that are really, really smart, but they can't handle pressure. In which case, they should work for somebody, do great, and have a good life. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'll tell you a story that's very interesting for me. When I was young, there was a man named William Levitt, and he'd build homes, and at night he'd go to these major sites with teams of people, and he'd scour the sites for nails and sawdust, and he did it properly. And he did this for 20 years, and then he was offered a lot of money for his company, and he sold his company for a tremendous amount of money. And the company that bought his company was a big conglomerate, and they didn't know anything about building homes, and they didn't know anything about picking up the nails and the sawdust and selling it and the scraps of wood. This was a big conglomerate based in New York City, and after about a 10-year period, they were losing a lot with it. He bought back his company, and he bought back a lot of empty land, and he worked hard on getting it zoning, and he worked hard on starting to develop. And in the end, he failed, and he failed badly. Lost all of his money. He went personally bankrupt. And he was a very successful man. And I saw him at a cocktail party. And it was very sad because the hottest people in New York were at this party. And he explained what was happening and how bad it's been and how hard it's been. And I said, what exactly happened? Why did this happen to you? And he said, Donald, I lost my momentum. It was very sad, and I never forgot that moment, and I thought about it. And it's exactly true. He lost his momentum. In life, I always tell this to people, you have to know whether or not you continue to have the momentum. And if you don't have it, that's okay. Because you're going to go on, and you're going to learn, and you're going to do things that are great. But you have to know about the word momentum. A word you never hear when you're talking about success. When some of these guys that never made 10 cents, they're on television giving you things about how you're going to be successful. And the only thing they ever did was a book and a tape. In life, in order to be successful, and you people are well on the road to success, you have to find out what makes you excited, what makes you want to get up each morning and go to work. You have to find it. You can do anything. You can be anything you want to be, but in order to succeed, you must find out what you love to do. You have to find your passion, no matter what they tell you. Never cease to be proud of who you are and the principles you hold dear and stand by. Wear your values as your badge of honor. If you love what you do and dedicate yourself to your work, then you will gain momentum. And look, you have to. You need the word momentum. So as much as you can, do something that you love, work hard, and never, ever give up, and you're going to be tremendously successful. Tremendously successful.